So excited to add Dwyane Wade to our organization and to our team. So we want to welcome Gabrielle and the Wade family. We had dinner before they left. We also want to welcome a bunch of dogs. I forget how many. I guess they'll have to get used to the winter. And then most of all, we want to welcome Dwyane back home to Chicago.
Thank you for that, Gary. Make me feel good about myself. Hello to everybody out there. Some of you I've been in a locker room with after wins or losses here in Chicago, and some of you I haven't. But you guys are gonna hear a lot from me and see a lot of me for a little while. So I'm thankful to be here today. This is one of those moments for me that is a dream come true. You know, simply that. I'm a Chicago guy, Chicago kid. I grew up here, got opportunity. I remember sitting on the floor when I could sit Indian style and watch the Chicago Bulls win their first championship. I was 9 years old. And I remember looking at the TV. We had this little bitty TV. I remember looking at it. It's about big as iPhones is now. I remember looking at it and saying, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to be. I want to be a champion, and that's who I want to do it with, you know, as a kid. And so my dream of becoming an NBA player started here in my hometown. So I know it's took a long time to get here, but I am here, and I'm excited to be here. I can't tell you guys in words what this moment means for me, what this organization, since the day that I said I'm coming, the support that they have shown, the excitement that the city has shown me. I can't tell you guys what that means to me. So I'm just thankful. So I appreciate it.
Dwyane, you said you dreamed of playing for the Bulls. Did you ever dream of playing for the Bulls during these last 13 years when you were in Miami?
If y'all could do me one favor, can y'all say y'all name so I can put the name to the face?
Mike McGraw, Daily Herald. Thanks.
There you go, Mike. I did, Mike. So let's go back down memory lane for a minute. I came out into the draft in 2003. I had a lot of workouts, but I had two workouts with one team, and it was the Chicago Bulls. And I went into that day, in June, thinking I'm gonna be playing for my hometown team. So I felt they didn't tell me, but I felt I was gonna get drafted by my hometown team.
You would have if you were there.
And I had no idea what Miami had up their sleeve. I was sitting there looking at the draft like everybody else, and I was shocked when my agent Henry Thomas came over and told me that he was drafting me 5, because I thought for sure I was coming here at 7. And then 2010, the first time I was a free agent, I had an opportunity to decide what teams I wanted to interview to see where I wanted to play. I was 28 years old. I was in the prime of my career. I was one of the best players in the NBA. And my first meeting was here back home. And I met with a few teams. Once again, I met with the Chicago Bulls twice. You know, it's a notion out there, and I'm glad you asked that question to start this off. It's a notion out there that for somehow, some way that I used the Bulls for some sort of leverage. I don't know how a 28-year-old in his prime that can be maxed out anywhere can use the team for leverage. I really, and we talked about this at dinner. It's a place I really wanted to be. It's a place my heart really pulled me towards. But also I had an opportunity of a lifetime, you know, to play with two great players in LeBron and Chris. And as hard as Chicago tried, they couldn't get all three of us together. And Miami was that place for all of us to go to. So it was times during these last 13 years that I envisioned myself being here. They gave me a Bulls jersey at the meeting in 2010. I went home, put it on, took a picture, erased the picture. That was before I knew that iCloud can recover pictures. But it was, to answer your question, it was moments.
Dwyane, Joe Colley from the Chicago Sun-Times. You guys went through this in Miami, the whole idea of whose team it is when LeBron got there. And now Jimmy and Rondo have talked about that now. Is there a significance to whose team it is? And secondly, should rings on the finger dictate whose team it is?
I think it's Jerry Rando's team.
Yeah, that's the last I checked.
It's Jerry Rando's team. I think, it's funny to be sitting in this seat. I remember when Shaquille O'Neal came to Miami, coming from the Lakers, 3 championships, came to Miami. We had no championships at the time. And I remember his press conference. And I was playing in the Olympics at the time, like Jimmy is right now. And I remember Shaq said, we're not going to go through this all year. He said, it's Dwyane Wade's team. So we're not going to go through this all year. This is Jimmy Butler's team. Myself and Rondo are here to bring what we bring as athletes to this team and to this city. He's a young bull on this team. He's a 26-year-old that can play 40 minutes if coach want him to, and maybe more. I ain't trying to do all that. And we're going to depend on him a lot. This is a guy who I've known since Marquette University, and great university, by the way, Mark. That I have a tremendous amount of respect for. And as much as Gar and John Paxson and everyone did an amazing job of making sure that this could happen, this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler called me and told me he wanted me here. And that was huge because at the time I didn't know. I mean, think about it. Hometown kid, Derrick Rose here. And, he finally leaves. And Noah, who's very known here, he leaves. It's now Jimmy's team. So to want to bring in a guy like myself and Rondo, et cetera, it shows what he's about. He's about winning. And the individual stuff will come from that. And I think Jimmy understands that. So it won't be a tug and pull of who team it is. We're all playing together. We all have one common goal, and that's to win. Jimmy is going to be Jimmy Butler, and I think he's going to grow and be a better ball player because of what Rondo brings to the game and because of what I bring.
Hi, Casey Johnson with the Chicago Tribune.
How you doing, Casey?
Hi. With the league trending towards three-point shooting, Dwyane, how do you envision the basketball fit between yourself, Jimmy, and Rajon? Obviously, you've got other pieces, but with you three guys kind of being the primary ball handlers, how do you envision the basketball fit?
Yeah, well, the league's trending that way. Obviously, every team ain't good at that game. That's why, Golden State has been in the finals the last 2 years. That's their game. They're good at that. So I don't think it's for everyone to play, unless you have the personnel to play it. It's not our personnel. It's not a game we're going to try to play. And that's, we have guys who can make shots. But I'm not going to lie and say, we're going to all shoot 50% from three next year. Our career, you can look at the numbers, are pretty much, I am a better three-point shooter than my number, by the way. I show it in the playoffs. But we have our own strengths. And with those strengths is what we're going to bring to this game. We're not going to come out there and try to be Stephen Curry. That's not our game. As much as my son loves Stephen Curry, sorry, he's not your dad. I am. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play my game, and I'm going to play my game within, obviously what the system is, what, the team needs from me. And at the end of the day, last time I checked, the ball has to go through the basket, and I've been pretty successful putting it through the basket. Jimmy's has been pretty successful. He's going to be even more successful, and Rondo's going to know how to make sure he gets everybody the ball to put it in the basket as well as possible. So, our job is to play to our strengths, to work on our weaknesses as well, as we know how teams may try to defend us, but let's not go away from what got us here. So we're going to continue to be who we are.
Dwyane, David Haas, Chicago Tribune. As much as everyone understands how special it is for you to come home and play for the Bulls, how much of it was that drawing you home, and how much of it was the perceived sort of rift with Pat Riley? And had he handled things differently, would you be here today?
I have no rift with Pat Riley. It's funny, the reports come out about a lot of different things. I've never seen nobody around me and Pat in the office when me and him just been talking. I didn't see no one CC'd on the emails that we talk about. I have no rift. I have nothing but respect for what he's done in this game. I have so much to learn. So I have no rift, in that. For me as a player, when you get opportunities to be a free agent, you have to sit and you have to look and see what is the best situation for you. And 2010, the best situation for me was to play with Chris and LeBron, because I wanted to be able to compete for championships. That was what I felt was best. The other two opt-out seasons, last year, I wanted more money. Just to be real. I got more money. This year, the direction and the focus for that organization in Miami, which I have nothing but respect for and love for, was a little different than it has been in years past. And with that being said, my direction and my focus was a little different than it's been in years past. And I communicated with them, that, hey, I've only done this once, but I'm going to be a free agent. I'm going to go out and I'm going to see, what the market is saying about me. And like I said, this opportunity with Chicago, when I first, said I was going to be a free agent, it wasn't nothing that we all knew was going to happen. But it was things that happened along the way that made this even realer and realer. And at the end of the day, I made the decision. I had a contract offer in Miami that I could have took. I decided not to take it. It was my decision to be selfish and to live out a dream of mine. I've brought a lot of excitement to Miami, and it's a home to me. It will always be. I want to bring a little bit here to Chicago. Well, I have a little bit left. And I still have a little bit left, by the way. I've listened to all you guys talk over the last couple of weeks, so I know what y'all been saying. But, I wanted to come here and be a part of building this organization back up to, where this organization should go and should be. And this is the first step in that direction. So, let's clear up the notion that Pat Riley orchestrated me getting out of Miami because he didn't offer me the money I wanted. This was not a money deal for me. If it was a money deal, I wouldn't be sitting here. I would have took the most money that was offered for me. At the end of the day, this is a place that I wanted to be. Miami and Chicago has always been, the two cities that I've called home. I was in Milwaukee for a brief second. And I got an opportunity, like I said, to be selfish. And I took it. And my family coming along with me along the way. So this was a decision solely for me, and it has nothing to do with Pat Riley. It has nothing to do with Nick Harrison and the family. They wanted me back in Miami. I considered it. But at the end of the day, I went where I wanted to be. I went where my heart was telling me to go, and it was back home.
Dwyane, Cheryl Ray Stout with WBEZ Radio here in Chicago. You're coming to a team besides Jimmy Butler with a lot of young players on this roster, and you have a young coach that you're dealing with too. How do you work your role as a mentor besides winning games on the court?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's very important. I feel that with the knowledge that you gain over the years of playing this game, I feel it's our duty as veteran players to give that knowledge back to the next generation. So this game continue to be as amazing and as great as it is. So I already do that. I do that with not only my teammates, I do that with other guys around the league. I work out with guys if they want to work out with me. I talk to guys throughout the year, via text message, et cetera. So these young guys on this team, I'm going to give them the knowledge that I've learned. And they can take it for what it's worth, but I'm going to give it to them no matter what, because at the end of the day, I'm a leader, and that's all I know how to do. I've been around some amazing leaders in my life, and I've grown into being one because of playing with guys like Shaquille O'Neal when I was young. He really helped show me the way as how a leader comes in and gives all his guys confidence. I can't wait. I've already had some conversations with Doug. I know me and him got a little negotiation to talk about for the number that he gave up. So we'll figure that out. And I've already talked to Bobby. So I've already, started talking to some of the young guys, and I can't wait to get an opportunity to be around them more and give them whatever knowledge that I've learned from this game.
Dwyane, Vince Goodwill, Comcast Sports.
What's up, Vince?
What's up? How much of today brings you mixed emotions? I know you're excited about being back home, but you left a place that you were invested for a very long time. So how do you balance the emotions of today with leaving what you had behind?
Yeah, man. Tough decision. Y'all could have been in that room when I had to make it. It wasn't. I'm not saying it was an easy decision. Not because I'm not excited to be here, and not because I've always thought that this would be a great place for me to be. But I was in Miami for 13 years. I grew up as a young man to now, a 34-year-old man. And I had amazing success, I won 3 championships, I won 12 All-Stars appearances, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I have a lot of history there. I just built a house. Sorry, baby. Just built a house there, Kids going to high school, older 2 boys going to high school. So there's a lot of things that made the decision not easy to make from the standpoint of what I've built and what I have going on with my family. So it's this nervous, exciting energy that I have, and that I had and I was in that room. But at that moment, like I said, my decision was, I didn't make it solely. I talked with the family, but selfishly, this is what I wanted to do at the end of the day. And I can't stress it enough. I wouldn't be here if I didn't want to be here. And, not saying that it's gonna take me a while everything is new. I feel like a rookie all over again, because everything in the organization is different than what I'm used to, and not in a bad way. It's just different. So I'm trying to get my feet up under me, but I will. I'm excited as heck to play with, my new teammates. I'm excited to see the growth from what they're going to get from playing with me, and I'm excited to see what I'm going to get from playing with them. I mean, Rajon Rondo is somebody I competed against so much in Boston, and we had so many battles that has been very much documented and talked about. But we was competing for championships. I want to play with a guy like that. I want to play with a guy that averaged 12 assists a game. I want to play the guy that didn't want to give his teammates the ball. So I'm excited to play with this group. I'm excited to put on that Bulls uniform. But that takes away nothing, from what I did and my respect level for, the Miami community. That city, it's a part of me. It'll always be a part of me, just like Chicago's always been a part of me. But I'm now entering a new chapter, and I'm ready to now dive into this chapter and focus on this chapter. And when it's all said and done, I'll put the books together.
Dwyane, in the back here to your left. Nick Friedel from
What's
ESPN.
up, Nick?
How you doing, man?
Good.
I realize a lot can happen year to year in the NBA, but you're going to be 35 in January. As you sign this deal, do you sign it believing that this is the final stop in your career?
Nick, I didn't think that far. ahead. I mean, as an athlete, you have to take it, especially as you start getting older. You really want to take it slow. I don't want to rush this process of thinking because, I love what I do. I love being a professional. So for me, for Chicago, I thought this deal was perfect from two standpoints. One, in today's game as a player, I think this is the best time to be a player, obviously, in the NBA because of the opportunity that we have. So to be able to be here and say I signed a 2-year deal with the second year being a player option. As a player, you always want the option. I think for this team is the future's still bright. As Gar said, they didn't have to give up any pieces, and they still have flexibility to continue to make this team better. So for me, this whole signing experiment, whatever y'all want to call it, it's a win-win for me. It's a win-win for the Chicago Bulls organization. It's a win-win for Chicago, period. So I'm going to focus on now. I ain't even got a house yet. I can't think about my career being over or the next stop. I got to think about getting a house and bringing my dogs down and, all these things. So I have so many different things I need to worry about before I worry about that. I don't want to look too far in the future. I want to be excited about this opportunity. I want to be excited about, what I've been gifted, in my 13th, going into my 14th year. I've been gifted this opportunity to come home and play for my hometown team. So I'm excited about that, and I want to continue to be. Jimmy Butler, everybody. Jimmy, you gonna come out with your muscles out and everything, though? You got oil on, though?
Dwyane, Clement Townsend, 120 Sports, right here. Obviously, you've talked about your wife being here with you, Gabrielle, and how much she means to you.
I ain't say all that.
Excuse me.
I ain't say how much she mean to me.
But you waited for her, so obviously that means that
I
she
waited
means
on
a lot
my
to you.
mama. I'm playing. My bad.
But she's been with you throughout this process. She's very active on social media. Saw you all on Instagram doing it to a little Montel Jordan. This is how we do it, having some fun. Just talk about her support, though, and what she said and how she's played a role in this process for you.
Well, I'm gonna warn y'all, right now. She follows all you guys. She will follow all you guys. And she's going to comment if she don't like what y'all got to say. And not just about me, about Jimmy, about Rondo. Yeah. So I'm just going to warn y'all, she's rougher on the refs than I am. But, I mean, like I said, man, the support from your family means everything, we, as the faces of the family have to make tough decisions. As a man of the family, I make tough decisions, but, when my family supports me, it means everything. So, my wife supports my decisions. And like I said, she just built her dream home. What she thought, in Miami. And I said, well, baby, we're going to have to get up out of that home. And we got to go somewhere else and make a different home. And she supports me. Not saying that she was necessarily 100% happy that she had to change, but she supports me. So, we all ride together, the Wade clan, the Wade family, Team Wade, we roll together, and that's how we do. My boys weren't even that happy. And it's because they used to the warm weather. They heard winter and they got scared. But they'll be all right. They get a little Chicago tough.
Gar, this question's for you. I mean, both you and John talked about job security at the end of the year and the criticisms that you guys were undergoing. One of the big things was you guys have always landed more consolation prizes than big name free agents or big name splash guys. Does this at all kind of silence critics in your mind? And at the same time, also the second part of this, have you been told that this rebuild needs to work or there is something on the line at the end of the day?
Yeah, Joe, whatever you're talking about, the critics or the job, I haven't seen that. You'd have to tell me where that's from. As far as, we always go into, planning for the next season and seasons down the road, trying to put the best team we can together. And Obviously, getting somebody like Dwyane and some of the intangibles that I talked about is huge for this team and for this organization. And we're excited about it. We're excited about a lot of the guys that we've added. We're excited about the young guys and the progress that they're making. So, no, we just come in and grind and do our job each and every day, and with a focus on our players, a focus on getting better, and putting ourselves in the best possible position to have success.
Hi, Casey Johnson from the Chicago Tribune again. Dwyane, you played in your most regular season games last season since 10-11, but I think you also averaged your career low in regular season minutes before amping it up in the playoffs. What's best for you regular season-wise in terms of usage, and have you had any of those kind of conversations with Fred Hoiberg to this point? I
had some conversations with Coach, but it's so early that we can't get to it. I think in Miami, Coach Spo had a plan, and his plan for me was that he wanted me to play 30 minutes a game in the regular season. And he told me that the year before. I wasn't on board. But then some way, somehow this year, we wind up doing it, and it was successful for me. So, like I said, every year is different. So I go into this year, like I said, Jimmy's going to play the bulk of the minutes anyway. I just got to, when I get out there, just do the job that I need to do. And so whatever those minutes are, I work very hard, man, behind the scenes on taking care of my body, especially now as I get older. And now I'm starting to understand my body. So last year worked, but that was last year. It's going to be new challenges this year. But I always have the mentality that I will do whatever for my team that I need to do. Like I said, I ain't trying to play 40 minutes and lead it up to the young bull over there. But whatever minutes that I play, just know they're going to be productive for the most part. So that's all I focus on. And coach handles the rotation. As a player, you always want to be out there. It was times last year where I wanted to be on the floor, but coach handled the rotation. So it was my job to go out there and do my job the minutes I'm on the floor. And playoffs came, I played more minutes. I had more production. But it was a small dosage of it, and the NBA season is so long, and they wanted to make sure that, I was healthy enough throughout the whole year. And I did pretty good.
Dwyane, Ryan Baker from CBS Chicago.
What's up, Ryan?
How are you? I see you've been getting reacclimated to Chicago at the Cubs game. Thanks for the tweet back, by the way. And going to Lollapalooza. But it's almost as if you never left, because through your foundation, Wade's World Foundation, you've had an impact in the city since you've been in the league. Coming back home now with the Bulls, given the climate in Chicago with the violence, gun violence, homicides, sadly seeming to be in an all-time high, have you thought about how you can even have a more hands-on impact here in the city, not just with the Bulls, but in the community, coming back now to your hometown?
That's something that me and my team, my family, are discussing. Everything's happening so fast for us right now. So that's something that we're discussing. I think it's great, and to be here knowing that the organization supports its players, and does great work in the community. And to have individual players, I know Rondo does an amazing job in the community. A lot of people don't know about it, or he doesn't talk about it, but he does an amazing job. So when you're a part of an organization, when you're part of players that have certain things they do in the communities, you're always trying to find ways that, hopefully you guys could do something together to make a bigger impact. As I always say with my foundation, I'm obviously one individual, but it's always great strength in numbers. So we would sit down and, talk about what's the next step and what's the best step, and, and how that looks here in Chicago. I haven't been here as a player since high school, so I don't know the lay of the land. So what my family and what we've always done is simply as we've just tried to, give back. And I live by the code: too much is given, much is required. I've been given a lot, and it's required for me to do something to help the next generation. And that's what we always try to do. And so, we would continue to do that. We would just figure out the logistics, as we get into more time being here.
Cody Westerlund with 670. You're right, Dwyane. What are fair expectations for this team next year in your mind?
Expectations sitting here on this day?
No, just this upcoming season.
Yeah, it's no expectations right now. We that ain't fair to even come up with one. It's you guys' job to come up with what our record gonna be, what our shooting percentage is gonna be. That's not our job. My job, Jimmy's job, Rondo's job, is to come in here day one when we start training camp, and get out of it and start working and building a team that we want to see on the floor. And no one knows what that team is going to be. It's predictions out there of what we can be. I don't know how you guys can predict that and how you guys know. You've never seen us play together before. So we've never seen each other play together before. But we know we have some special talent. We know we have some young guys that can play. But we all have to get to work. And it's going to take a while before we even get a chance to see what that's going to be like. So I can't answer that question sitting here today about that.
Let's take 3 more questions.
Dwyane, it's Mike McGraw, Daily Herald. Not trying to compare Jimmy Butler to LeBron, but are you going to go to Fred Hoiberg and say, hey, look, this is how we made it work in Miami with 2 wing players who are sharing the spotlight, sharing the ball, and have some suggestions for him on how you guys can make your offense work?
Well, first of all, I've played against Jimmy. Obviously, I've seen Jimmy since Marquette. I have a feel of how his game is as a competitor, but as a teammate, I don't know everything yet. So first of all, I have to learn the way Jimmy work. I need to know when he wakes up, when he goes to sleep. Jimmy, I need all that information. So I can't come into this situation thinking it's going to be the same as, when me, Chris, and LeBron played together. This is a different situation. And we were, like I said, it took us a while to figure out, and we would figure out here what is the best cause of action for us on the basketball floor and what's the best situation. So all I know is I'm excited about the opportunity. I'm excited about, playing with 2 guys that I respect as competitors first. Rondo is a winner. He's won a championship before, and I know Jimmy dream about winning championships. And that's all I can focus on right now. Everything else will happen. It will come. We will learn each other. We will learn what we need to do, just like we did in Miami. We learned what we need to do. This is a different guys, different individuals. I'm not coming in comparing and saying this guy needs to do this because Chris Bosh did this or LeBron James did that. That's not fair to them, and that's not fair to coach. It's not fair to me. So I won't have that expectation at all. I think the only parallel from that is that I've played with, in my career, I've played with other guys that's alphas. And you guys heard Rondo allude to that, is that we have 3 alphas. We have 3 strong personalities. I don't know where is that's not bad. We have 3 leaders. And other guys are going to lead in their own ways. That's great for a coach because now he has leaders on his team that he really can count on and trust and believe coming right in. Right away, he don't have to build it. It's here. So, all of it going to take time. I have no answers on how it's going to work. I know we're going to figure out because as individuals, if you want something to work, you find a way to make it work. And for us, it's just going to be about constant communication. So I hope Jimmy got an unlimited plan as he travel around the world because I'm going to be texting him and continue to try to build this camaraderie before we even get to training camp. So to make sure that us 3 as leaders are on the same page of what we need to do to be successful. And that's all we can ask for.
Dwyane, Laura Majera with WGN. Welcome home. Welcome, Gabrielle. Recruiting amongst players can play such a pivotal role. You mentioned how much it meant to you and Jimmy reached out. How do you plan on selling Chicago as a free agent destination?
I think we sell Chicago by the way we play. I think you sell Chicago by the individuals that come to the team. So, by the way, right now Chicago is being sold as we sit here. This is an organization who, and I know, I've heard about the retooling versus rebuilding. This is an organization that don't want to start from scratch and start over. It's an organization that wants to get right back into it and this is a great step in that direction. So it sells itself, and the way we play, the way we interact as teammates, people watch that, people see that. That's going to sell it. And when it's time to sit down and the season's over and we figure out next steps to how to grow this organization and make it better, you do your best job to try to do that. That's all you can do.
Sam Smith with the Bulls.com. One of the more surprising moves was your change of teams, obviously. What did your basketball friends, LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Paul, were they surprised, and why about your move?
Well, I think the why is easy. I've been in Miami 13 years. Anytime you see, you come accustomed to seeing certain people in a certain arena, you just expect that that's what it is. So no one expected this to happen. No one expected this to happen. But my friends, what we all do is, we all support each other. We all sit down and talk about not just basketball. We talk about a lot of things in life. And if it's asked, everyone gives their opinion. But that's all it is an opinion. I think in this situation, those guys, we was on vacation. Those guys knew I was going through free agency. They left me alone. They asked me one day, they asked me about it. And after that, we continued to enjoy the vacation. So they supported me in this decision just like I support them. Whether I was, in Miami or whether I'm here in Chicago, they're my friends. They're going to support me. So I know Chris, I know Brian, I know those guys happy for me because I know Melo is happy as well because this is something that I said I wanted to do. And that's the same way I was when LeBron went back to Cleveland. And everybody thought I should have been angry at a friend of mine for wanting to go back and to go play basketball in his hometown. Why would I be? I'm happy for him that he made the decision as a man. He made the choice to take his family where he wanted to take them and take his talents there as well. So same thing. They was happy for me that I made a decision to do it. And the same thing is for other players. You look at Kevin Durant. I think as players, we're happy, make our own choices and our own decisions. And no matter what is said out there, as long as you're happy with it, that's all that matters. As long as you have support of your family, that's all that matters. Everything else is just smoke and mirrors. So they're happy for me.
I just want to follow up quickly on that one point there. Pat Riley said something I thought was curious and sort of this mea culpa, and said that he wished he had gotten more involved in Dwyane's recruitment or resigning, whatever it was, and he wasn't. And what did that mean that he wasn't involved?
I dealt with Mickey Harrison and Nick Harrison when it came to my contracts the last 2 years. That's what he meant when he said he wasn't involved. So, meaning he didn't sit at the table. He didn't, call or email or text or nothing like that to try to sway me or get me back. I guess that's what he meant. But, I dealt with, two people that I respect in the organization. And like I said, at the end of the day, it wasn't about Pat Riley, it wasn't about Mickey, it wasn't about Nick. It was about me. And I told that to the Harrison family in our meeting. They asked me, they said, what else, what else can we, is there anything we can do? I said, this is a decision that I'm going to have to make. And I made that decision. So I wasn't looking for Pat to reach out to me. That wasn't a focus of mine. My focus was making the best decision for my family. And, and he has to make the best decision for the organization, which he's done an amazing job over his tenure there. And we all benefited from him. But this decision was basically mine. And I couldn't concern myself or worry about someone reaching out to me or not reaching out to me. So that's why I made a decision. It wasn't because he didn't reach out to me. And how petty is that? I sat at the table with the guys who pay the bills. And I knew they wanted me to still be there. But I wanted to be, ultimately I wanted to be here. And I ultimately made that decision.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.